Good morning. I just don't know what to do about the way the screen is treating my hair this morning. So enjoy that while you can, and then I'll disappear into a teeny tiny little screen. Thanks, Shannon. Just to follow up on what Shannon said. Yeah, Shannon is on the board of our member section for fire and life safety. And as she said, that section is kind of trying to find its way. And in order to do that, we need your help. We need to know what you need from NFPA. And I hear that from you all the time, but copy Shannon when you send those notes, ask for things, encourage things. And I think that that group needs to sort of find a new terms of reference and new mission statement, new values and whatnot, and try to straighten that out. So what can we do for you that will help you? Just pile it on, let us know. We know translation, we know certain safety tip sheets and different stuff like that. But I think that we all need to just really let NFPA know public education is a very small portion of what NFPA does. It is perhaps the most important thing NFPA does, but our team is small. So we need to prioritize, and hearing from you about what you want will help us to do that. So thank you, Shannon. And yeah, welcome aboard for another year. And thank you for joining me in Orlando. It was good fun. So I'm going to share the screen. Here we go. And hopefully all goes well this morning in the world of technology. So Shannon, just a thumbs up that you can see full screen there, or Len, I can see you. You can see the full screen. Okay, thank you. So there are about 68 of you on board today. Thank you very much. The chat, Len and Shannon, seems to have been disabled. It may be back, I don't know.
I have opened it. I just opened it up to everyone, so we should be good.
Perfect. Oh, there. Okay, I see. Okay, so put your questions and comments in the chat. I will pause at a variety of opportunities to allow questions or comments. I'm going to throw a whole bunch of stuff at you today. This is all brand new. As you know, it was launched last week while we were at our conference and expo in Orlando, which is the norm to launch it during the conference. Last year, you recall, we had website challenges, so it was a little later than usual. And this year, we're thrilled to be able to do the webinar this soon. I will admit that it was very much thrown together at the last minute because we were all away last week learning about all of this, but I think you'll still get a very good picture of what we have to offer you. So feel free to put questions in, and I'll pause, and Shannon and Len, feel free to interrupt. You know, I talk quickly, but by all means interrupt. So thanks everyone. So Fire Prevention Week 2024, same time as it always is. I didn't even put the dates up here. Middle of October, always includes the October 7th, which is the anniversary or the date of the Great Chicago Fire, on which Fire Prevention Week is based. And that is why it will always stay that week, and the dates will never change, even though it often includes Thanksgiving weekend in Canada, and therefore we kind of lose a day. Dan, I can see your hand, so go right ahead. Just thinking it might be a technical issue.
You should be good to talk now, Dan. You just have to unmute.
Maybe put it in the chat then, if you're not able to.
No, Dan, you should be good to go to talk. If not, then just put it in the chat and we'll get it answered.
Yeah, we'll get that to you. Okay, I'll carry on. Okay, so Fire Prevention Week themes. We will get to this year's, and you've probably already seen it because our website went live actually a couple of weeks ago because we had to test it before we launched. But I just want to review a couple. So since I've been with NFPA in 2017, these are the themes that we've seen. Every second counts, plan 2 ways out. And you'll see some of the art there at the bottom of the screen. 2018, look, listen, learn, be aware, fire can happen anywhere. You'll all remember Simon. I don't know whatever happened to Simon. Simon never returned, so we'll leave it at that. Your guess is as good as mine. 2019, not every hero wears a cape. Plan and practice your escape. I really liked this one. It was something that we could have fun with the kids. And it's that theme actually is still around, that theme artwork, which I like. 2020, serve up fire safety in the kitchen. You remember we did the videos, that was fun. 2021, learn the sounds of fire safety, still critical. 2022, fire won't wait, plan your escape. And 2023, cooking safety starts with you. So you'll see there is kind of a pattern in the themes. Often it's about home escape, smoke alarms, or cooking safety. And that only stands to reason because those are three significant issues that work across all populations. So these are just some of the artwork and the images from years gone by. I enjoyed this one. This was 2005 Fire Prevention Week. Use candles with care when you go out, blow out. So it was more about candle safety, which is such a, you know, I don't know, different than the themes that we would normally use. So I didn't even remember that. But some of the others, you'll see again, very consistent themes, very consistent language and whatnot. So what are we looking for when we choose the theme? We're always looking to make sure that whatever it is driven by data, that we have data and evidence to support the theme. And unfortunately, that usually means that whatever it is therefore a problem, an issue or a challenge that we're having with fire safety, generally with smoke alarms or cooking safety. It has to be actionable, which means we need to have action items, things that people can do. What can they do to change either their behavior or their circumstances to improve the fire safety of themselves and their families? So there always needs to be a do, and that do needs to be applicable to everybody, to all populations. Pardon me. And then the third is that it needs to really be universal, so that it's pertinent across all populations. It doesn't matter your demographics, your race, your culture, where you live, your geography, that it's relevant to everybody. So that's why sometimes, you know, we get comments about, well, it seems that the theme is always very similar. Yeah, for those reasons, but also because those things are still the challenges that we're having, particularly with smoke alarms. So this 2 years ago, you remember, was the 100th anniversary of Fire Prevention Week, which means we're at 102 now, which is pretty impressive. The longest standing observance in North America, of course, sponsored and hosted by NFPA and in conjunction with lots of partners around the world. So I just think it's fantastic. And I also liked that the 100 years logo. So this year, the theme, which you've probably seen, smoke alarms, make them work for you. So a bit of a play on words about what smoke alarms can do and the different things that they do, and then understanding how to make them work for you, in that you have to be responsible for installing them, testing them, and making sure and replacing them, which you'll see in a moment. So in English and in French, so almost all of the assets that we have available this year are in both official languages and also in Spanish. We have a few of the assets that were older and from previous campaigns that we haven't translated yet, but everything that we did specifically for this year's campaign has been translated into French, and it's on the website. I'm going to go out to the website toward the end and show you where everything is. I'll show them to you on the screen and on slides, but then I'll go to the website so you can actually see it. So Len, I'll just stop for a second there to see if anybody did have a question. I see a couple of things, and I see that there's numbers in the chat, but I can't see it.
Okay, we did have Dan. He did have a question. He had his hand up, but I sent it via the chat. He hasn't responded. So other
Okay.
than that, I have nothing in the chat.
Okay, feel free, you
Oh,
guys,
good.
as we go through. Okay, so smoke alarms, make them work for you. I kind of like the smoke alarm in the O, looks good, beep, beep, beep. So you can tell that it's making a sound. And you know, as someone who worked in newspapers and magazines for years and years and years, I'll tell you this is driving me bananas, that Sparky's looking off the page. I would have put Sparky over on the left-hand side and had him looking at the logo, but he didn't ask me for my opinion on that part. So anyway, there you go. It'll drive me crazy now until October. But I think it looks good. It's nice and bright. It's clean and easy to read and simple. So makes a good point. So there it is in French again. So this is our introductory video that should work. Very short.
Join NFPA and fire departments across North America for Fire Prevention Week 2024. This year's campaign, Smoke Alarms, Make Them Work for You, focuses on the importance of having working smoke alarms in the home. Smoke alarms are the first line of defense in a home fire, but they need to be working to protect you. These 3 actions will ensure your smoke alarms are working for you. Install smoke alarms in every bedroom, outside each separate sleeping area, and on each level of the home. Make sure smoke alarms meet the needs of all family members, including those with sensory or physical disabilities. Fire! Test smoke alarms at least once a month by pushing the test button. Replace smoke alarms when they are 10 years old or don't respond when tested. This Fire Prevention Week, we all have a vital role to play in spreading awareness and protecting our loved ones and communities. Remember, install, test, replace. Make sure smoke alarms work for you. Visit fpw.org for more information on smoke alarms.
Any comments or questions on the video? It's just
I
a lot.
I
Go
do
ahead.
like that. I do like that ending, Laura. Finally, install. What was it? Install, test, replace. So
Yes.
finally, the messaging install. We keep on hearing test, as we know, with a lot of our statistics. The installation is also a major concern. So
Yeah,
that's great to
exactly.
see that in the messaging.
Yeah, and those are the calls to action, right? So install, test, replace, which is 3 nice, succinct, easy words. I'll just go back to the video for a second. There's a couple things in it that I noticed. And again, because I'm now regional director and not solely with public education, I'm not part of all of that. I'm part of what we're doing in French and whatnot, but I'm not there through, I do work on the theme, but I'm not there through the development of all of the resources. We just can't be everywhere. I don't know if you noticed, so when the person was testing the smoke alarm, it's a young woman and she's testing it. It looks like it's on the wall. I don't know if it's in her hand or on the wall rather than on the ceiling. So that's just something I noticed that we could make a note of for next time. We don't often have them on a wall. And if it's on a wall, it's usually because it's high up near a vaulted ceiling or something to that effect. So I didn't love that. So just so that you're aware, and if you get questioned about that. And the other thing was, install smoke alarms. And it says right here, in every bedroom outside each separate sleeping area and on each level. So depends when your house was built, depends which code you're using and whatnot, but that is the NFPA messaging. So again, just so that you're aware, and that's very much a part of the Fire Prevention Week messaging. So yeah, I like this. This is right from the Fire Prevention Week.org, fpw.org page. I'll take you there. When you go to the homepage and scroll down a little bit, these are the 3 messages that you get. So I do like them. You can work with them. They give you some 3 easy things to teach the kids, to talk to adults about. And we'll talk about installation and we'll talk about types of smoke alarms shortly. Len, I just see there's more numbers in the chat, so I'll pause if there's anything. Yeah.
Just a couple comments. So one comment from Jillian and Caledon was in the video was a 2005 date on that alarm, pretty old alarm. But again, we obviously do run into those situations where it's far more than the 10 years.
Yeah, that wasn't great. I did notice that too. I just forgot to mention it. Thanks, Jillian. It's a good point. And the people who are making videos are not us, but they should have run it by us first. So anyway, thank you. Good point. I'll see if we can get it amended. I didn't like it. Okay.
The other
What else?
comment we have from Sean is FPW banners. I know they usually come with a date. That's always a hot topic for discussion. Can we get a banner without a date?
We haven't had dates on the banners in 5 years, I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's no dates on the banners, Sean. There's no dates on anything we do anymore because of that. And also the banners this year are a different material, different fabric. And I know that drives everybody nuts, but we tested them and we know that they stand up and they're not nearly as wrinkly and crinkly and difficult to manage as other years. I don't know if they're the same size as in other years. And I know that drives everybody nuts too, because you put your things up on the hall or whatever, and then the next year you have to change them. So I'm sorry about that. We got the dates off. That's like a huge step forward. So one step at a time. Yeah. Thanks.
Looks like the last comment here in regards to the voiceover. I don't know if that was AI. It did sound like a real voice, but the comment was, could we get something more livelier? Sounds a bit institutional.
Yeah, I think that was our guy. So that's really meant to be our launch video. I mean, you're welcome to play it, but not necessarily, it's kind of meant for you guys, not necessarily meant for a consumer audience, right?
Okay.
So, I hear you though. I know. I don't know what it is. So we have this generation of people who likes to do that sort of very serious. And for me, it would be the way I would do it, right? Would be
Yeah.
much happier, much more upbeat. So thank you. I have made those notes and I will provide that feedback. Appreciate it.
Laura,
Yes, ma'am.
just one more question on the video, and you might get to it after, but Deb had asked about accessing the video to have it loaded on their municipal website. So is there somewhere that that specific video can be downloaded? I know there's a toolkit, but I don't know if that video is in it.
Okay, so here's the secret, right? So we all know that there's this huge process to go through to get anything from NFPA. It is on our Facebook page, I believe. I have the MP4, so send me a note and I will provide you with the MP4. And if you tell anybody, I'll deny it and I will destroy the recording of this video. So, but I will get it to you because that's the only way to do it. Yeah, there's no way to download it from anything that we've put up there, but I have it. So I'm happy to share it with you. Just send me a note and I'll send you right back.
Thanks.
Yeah, okay. Okay, good to move on? Yes, okay.
Good to move on.
Okay, so again, you'll see this on the homepage when I show it to you, and three action items that we can all take out there, and I'll show you the tools that go along with them. So just a bit about why smoke alarms again. You all know that the data supports the theme. You all know the data from Ontario. You live here, we've heard it. We've been through Test Your Smoke Alarm Day and the symposium and the summit. So we know what the issues are there. And we know that that's happening right, you know, across North America and around the world, right? So still we have people disabling smoke alarms because of the complications, the barriers to change. They're not able to install them. Landlords, all the issues. We don't need to go through them. We also know that it's just a multi-step process, right? Asking someone to replace a smoke alarm or even to buy a smoke alarm. So, okay, when builders are building homes or when builders are building apartments or condos, they go in. But if someone's buying an older home, it doesn't even have to be that much older, and they have to install new ones, they weren't working, they were disabled or removed, there is so much confusion. And then the technology, it causes more confusion. There are so many new things on the market. So let me just tell you this little story. So I live in a townhouse, and some of you have heard some of this before. I have a 4-level townhouse. I got new smoke alarms a couple of years ago for all kinds of reasons, and I added some. So I have them in the bedrooms, but they weren't. Anyway, lots of space, so I put in some extras. So I got new alarms from Kidda because they were Kidda alarms, because one of mine started to, no, I was testing them weekly, as you do. I tested them and they didn't do what they were supposed to do. So I called Kidda because they were less than 2 years old. And they said, okay, it may be this, it may be that. We're going to send you 4 new smoke alarms, which they did. The 4 were interconnected. Those 4 were interconnected, which they did. They lasted about through 2 weeks. And then I started getting the alarm in the middle of the night, which I thought, okay, maybe it's a spider, maybe it's dust, maybe it's whatever. Anyway, wouldn't stop. So they sent me a new alarm, and they said it was going to be compatible with the other alarms, but I got it and it wasn't compatible with the other alarms because those other alarms they had taken out of commission because they kept doing what mine had been doing. So 4 new alarms later and all is well, but it was quite a process. And I mean, they fit in the bracket and everything, but for someone who didn't know or wasn't able to get up on the ladder, I have 9-foot ceilings, wasn't able to get up on the ladder and do all that, it's a real barrier to change. So this is where we need to be communicating with the companies, communicating with consumers, and really helping people understand what's out there and what's in their homes and what needs to be replaced and what needs to be changed. It's not easy. Just look at that display. Like that's outrageous. How do you decide and how do you know? So, you know, we think that it's people, we say it's people who are removing the smoke alarms and people who are causing the problem. But, you know, these are not easy decisions to make. And I know that you know all of that. So just a little bit on types of smoke alarms, which is also confusing. So we know that there are still lots of homes that have simple battery operated smoke alarms. Then we had a period of time in Ontario where you could have hardwired smoke alarms, but they didn't require a battery backup. So those still exist. Then we have the hardwired with the battery backup, which I have, and many of you probably have. Some have strobes, some don't, depends when they were installed, what the building code said at the time. You've got the 10-year sealed, the combination smoke and CO with all of the above. They might be interconnected, they might be 10-year sealed. the multi-sensor ones now that are photoelectric and ionization, but you also have just photoelectric and just ionization. And now you've got the Nest, you've got wireless, you've got smoke alarms that are connected to apps. And now we have new smoke alarms that are based on AI and sense a whole bunch of things. I don't see any of those that are listed products yet, but they're on the way, which is actually good. I think, because they might be able to prevent some of the issues that I've just mentioned. So it's mind-boggling to me. So you can imagine for people for whom this is not a day-to-day part of their lives. So it's up to us, but it's really challenging to figure it all out. And every time you go on a website with one of the manufacturers, things change and you've got to try to be up to date. So that's really, really difficult. And some of that is stuff that we can't put in our messaging because it's, you know, it would be promoting one brand over the other. And, you know, we don't do that. Len, questions to this point?
No, we're good. You're good.
Okay, good, thanks. So I took a look. I just wanted to show you some of what's out there and what's new. And we talk about price points as also being a barrier to change and a barrier to behavior change. And, you know, the prices are crazy. I mean, I would do this and you might do this, but lots of people won't. And this is a fairly new Kidde brand that works with an app. You're able to test your smoke alarm from your app. You're able to monitor it from your app. But the price point's $129. So if you've got to have however many of those in your home, that's pretty outrageous. But maybe that appeals to the group that we find so hard, so difficult to reach, right? Which is younger people who are working, who haven't had to think about this before and who find it so easy to use the technology. So maybe that's a good thing. And maybe that is a good audience for us. So just so you're aware, there's some videos on the site. So if you go to Kidde and search this smoke alarm with smart features, you can find it, a bunch of information, a couple of videos explains how the app works, just so you're aware. And also compatible with Google Home and Amazon, which you're probably aware of. It is listed and provides the voice alerts, which I like because they definitely wake you up. Kidde also has Home Safe. Let me just see if this is the video. Let me see. Can't remember. It might be on. Oh, it is, but it's on a different page. So hold on a second. I'll get rid of that. And stop sharing. New share. I've lost it. Yeah, what can you guys see? Nothing?
We can see it. We can see your screen.
Can you?
It's not working.
Part of the
There we go.
confidence of knowing that the
There it
people,
goes.
places, and things that
Sorry, can you see the video or no? No,
Yes,
you're
we can see it. You just need to maximize it if you can.
Give me a second, sorry. There we go.
you are protected. At Kidde, we've been inspiring that confidence for more than 100 years. And now we're doing it in smarter ways than ever before. Introducing our new line of smart detection products featuring Kidde Home Safe. The smart Wi-Fi enabled devices help protect against common home safety threats, including smoke, carbon monoxide, indoor air quality issues, and water leaks and freezes. The Kidde Home Safe feature connects these devices with the Kidde app for instant notifications sent to your phone, even when you're not at home. These are just the latest innovations from Kidde, the #1 most installed fire safety brand in North America. Explore smart detection products featuring Kidde Home Safe today and experience a smarter approach to home safety.
Yeah, so certainly not a promotion, but just letting you know what's there. And trying to get back here. And again, it may appeal to a different audience or a younger audience. So that would be Good. Give me a moment. There. Okay.
Laura, there was one question about the alarms, asking if they come in hardwired.
If those particular ones do, I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look at the page. There's a whole bunch of different varieties of that. I think that the thinking is that they're wireless and then come with you when you go or when you're moving in and out of condos or apartments and that kind of thing. So I didn't go as in depth there as I probably should have, but I can take a look.
No worries.
Yeah. And lastly, so this is just showing you some of those alarms. Oops, I wanted to take a note here. I was confused when I was on the site. Here it says the alarms are battery operated. It's a 10-year sealed, but then down here, it's comes with a 3-cell battery pack and the battery will last approximately 5 years. So I'm actually going to call Kidda this afternoon and just see, get some more detail on that. So once again, my point is that there's so much information on the website. There's so many different things and I'm confused. So it's just got to be so difficult for the consumer. And just showing you more of what's there. And lastly, I didn't even know what Z-Wave was. I still really don't know what it is, but involves a system in your home that you can subscribe to. So it also works with your ring light, your Ring doorbell and whatnot. So again, more technology that is terrific, more expensive than we're used to, but may appeal to that different audience. That we're trying so hard to reach through Instagram and some other TikTok and some other social media branches. And this might be a good thing. Of course, again, we're not promoting any particular brand, just showing people what's out there and that the technology is starting to change, which again is a good thing. And then lastly, Shannon and I met this gentleman who runs this company in Cynthia in Orlando, and I had met him in Montreal a few weeks ago. And this is a new type of alarm that uses AI, and it's got 12, I know this is all in French, it's got 12 sensors in it. It's not listed yet as far as I can tell, but they're working on it. So again, just showing you that after, what I sort of felt was being stuck at a certain place with the technology for years and being frustrated by it, things are starting to move forward. So this is what I'm going to do between now and August 6th when we have our big NFPA webinar, is find out a little bit more about all of this. So this is what that says: a product from Quebec that is revolutionizing the global smoke alarm market. The AI analyzes the situation using its patented sensors and information provided by your existing warning devices, then transmit them in real time to firefighters with the audio environment, the age, the number of occupants, their limitations. So you obviously have to provide it with certain information that it can then provide to fire departments. I know it says firefighters here, and I don't exactly know how that's being done. But I did translate all of this. So it's coming. There are algorithms and there is information fed into it, and it's got a different sound. So you see here, guaranteed impact. This is Google Translate. So bear with it. Guaranteed impact on children, the elderly, and even your teenager. Imagine, which means the sound will wake up your teenager. And then if you've disconnected the landline, no problem. We can transmit by cell phone or Wi-Fi. And this is just kind of funny. Integrated dishcloth. It's integrated purge fan allows the system to evacuate stagnant smoke. So no more dancing with dish towels, which I thought was kind of cute in the English translation. So there's lots out there and lots going on, but it's almost impossible to keep up with it and do your job. So we're going to try to do that a little bit better for you as we head toward Fire Prevention Week, and give some more details and have something that's a little bit better packaged in terms of what's new and what, what, not that you may want to recommend, but what kind of information you want to provide. Okay, so we'll look at what we've got for this year. So the free to download resources we have in English and French. So for those of you in Eastern Ontario, all of this is available in French. If you see anything that I don't say is in French and you would like to have it in French, let me know and we'll do our absolute best. This has been a collaboration between or among the government of Quebec, the government of New Brunswick, ATPIC, which is the Quebec Fire Prevention Officers Association, and various other people who have done us numerous favors to get this all in French in time for the launch. So we're greatly appreciative of that. So as in other years, and I'll show you all of these, we have an event flyer, the theme art, of course, which is this. This is available to download in all kinds of different sizes and shapes for brochures and print material, as well as for websites and social media. If you need a vector file, so if you need a large version of that file because you want to put it on a vehicle or a fence or somewhere else or a bus shelter, it has to come through the NFPA legal process. We are trying very hard to make sure that we that we make that process much quicker than it usually is. We're embroiled in some heavy legal stuff ourselves at the moment, so our team's very busy. But if you want something, get in touch with me, and then we'll go through the website and I'll tell you what to say in the form that goes in, and then I will send notes to all the people who have control over that, so it doesn't end up at the bottom of a very, very long list of submissions. So if you want something like that, let me know as soon as possible. So we have the theme art, we have social media cards that I'll show you, some new tip sheets. We have a press release in English and French so that you can send that to your local media to promote Fire Prevention Week, let them know it's coming and what your municipality is doing. There is a proclamation. I couldn't find the French version on the website today. I know we had some trouble with it last week, but there's a provincial proclamation. So the province can declare Fire Prevention Week, or you could just change some few words in it and have it declared municipally if you like. Oftentimes the mayor will do that, which makes for a fun activity or event. Some safety tip sheets, which I already said. There's a social media frame, you know, that you can print out or have Staples print out on cardboard and use it to get people's pictures in. There are some coloring sheets for adults and children, so those mindful coloring sheets, mindfulness, and there's a really cool new checklist as well. So all of that is free to download and available at fpw.org. So a couple things, when you go to nfpa.org and you hover your mouse over events, that's where you will find Fire Prevention Week now, or if you just type in fpw.org. So it doesn't live kind of separately like it used to as its own site. It's kind of an offshoot site of nfpa.org. So if you hit the home button, you will end up back at nfpa.org. So just so you know, it's not living on its own anymore. So what have we got for printables? So this is the social media frame, so you can have your people in there. Shannon, we had it at the CNE last week. Looks good. It's always fun. Always makes for a fun activity and good little mementos for people. So that's good. And again, you can have it printed at any size. I believe we have large versions of that to be able to provide to a printer, which is great. This is the new checklist that I mentioned. I love it. It's good. English and French, and it's an activity. It's something to do. So it's an action item for a family. Do you test your smoke alarms each month? Then an action item. Does everyone in your home know the sound of the smoke alarm? Yes, no, and then action item. So it's an activity that doesn't just come and go quickly. You want, and then it shows how to determine the date and when a smoke alarm needs to be replaced. So I like that as a family activity. Certainly something you can do at an open house, have a table and have that activity going on. So I think that one's really good. I like it. It's easy to read and it's just bold and beautiful. This is the coloring sheet. So this is Learn the Sound of Your Smoke Alarm, and it is similar to what we've had in previous years. We just went with this because it suits the younger children better than smoke alarm.
Looks like Laura is frozen internet connection. Let's see what we can do here.
We just lost her.
See if I can invite her back.
Okay. You never know with the weather, eh? The wild weather and the humidity. Gee whiz.
Okay, you're back. You're good to go.
Sorry about that. Where did I leave? Do you remember where it was?
You were on the coloring sheet.
Coloring sheet? This coloring sheet. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that, everyone. I had nothing, just completely gone. So the coloring sheet you saw, and again, learn the sounds of your smoke alarm, which was more just better for an audience of children than the theme language, which is your smoke alarms make them work for you. So that's why we chose that as the coloring sheet. The poster, the event poster that you can use on social or print out or put it wherever you like. If you're having an open house, or share it with people in your community who may be doing an event for Fire Prevention Week. So that's kind of cool, nice and bright and easy to fill in. It should be a fillable PDF on our website. And this one is the adult mindfulness coloring sheet. So smoke alarms make them work for you. We do have that in both languages. So that's always fun. And we get incredible uptake on these, obviously for the older residents and older adults, but people just seem to love them. And I'm finding them in our offices too. People are just have them on their desks and have them when they're, imagine when they're on a Zoom call and they're coloring them in the background, which is terrific. Okay, so there's a 10-minute mini lesson about smoke alarms, making them work for you. So this is meant for adults who would benefit from basic information about smoke alarms. Like all NFPA lesson plans and lessons, it gives you an introduction, a hook, an ask. So did you know you may have less than 2 minutes to escape once you're, to escape your home once the smoke alarm sounds. Everything that you guys are well aware of and you've heard, but it's all here in a nice package for you. So you don't have to create the lesson plan. It talks about install and test and maintain or replace. So the 3 key action items are there and gives you lots of ideas for conclusion, some optional ideas, and also things to bring with you to do the lesson plan. So that's terrific. Again, these are all done by our pub ed team, our public education team of people who have curriculum backgrounds. Most of them are teachers, actually, former teachers. So they know how to set up a lesson plan and how it should work. And this is just 10 minutes because so often we have only that amount of time by the time we get the intro and by the time we get everybody sitting down, and then we have lots of time for questions and demonstrations. Just a reminder that somewhere on the NFPA website, if you can't find it, I'll find it for you. There is an MP3 of the sound of a smoke alarm, the beep, 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 and also of a CO alarm, and also of the chirp. So I find often if you want to use a real smoke alarm, the sound is so loud and some people are disturbed by that or it bothers them. So you can adjust the volume on your phone, make the same sound, and you don't have to have that really annoying loud smoke alarm sound. If everybody's good with it, it's a good thing to get people used to it and so they recognize it, but there is an alternative, and for people who may have sensory issues as well. Other resources. So this smoke alarm safety sheet has been around for a while. We do have it in French. I just couldn't find it yesterday, but it's a nice thing to have on the fridge. And we got our Adventures with Sparky, which is like the flat Sparky, right? Or flat Stanley, a complete English version. I think the last version we had was English and Spanish. So we were able to get the English version and we'll get it in French. So this is the thing you can cut out Sparky, laminate him, color him, laminate him, and ask the kids to take photos or take him with them where they go and do some messaging that way. So that's a great asset to have that I love. When we're on the website, and again, I'll take you there shortly, there are 3 sections for the general public, for kids and families, and then safety tip sheets. This is on one part of it. There is Sparky Safety Club certificates. These are a lot of fun to use during Fire Prevention Week. Again, easy to print out at very little cost. And then some family fire safety activities and smoke alarm hidden picture puzzles. So I'll show you them in bigger detail. This is from Learn Not to Burn, I believe. So good for, I thought we had the age group here. not here, but maybe grades 2 and 3. And then the hidden picture, nice and bright and lots of color in this one. So a little bit different than what we usually do. And you can find all of that on sparky.org, both of those. So they work nicely with this year's Fire Prevention Week theme. I challenge you to find all those things in there. Okay, the social media cards. Len, questions? My screen has gone all weird now. I see there's one thing in the chat, that's all. But there could be more and I'm not seeing.
Okay, so question, smoke alarm safety check sheet is great, but is there any talk about making a Canadian version? The picture for July has an American flag. Would be great if that could be changed to a Canadian flag.
I know, thank you. Yeah, it's on the list. I know. And we try, and again, we don't see them till they come out. So I will make a note. I had a note of that earlier, but yeah, thank you for pointing it out. Appreciate it. Anything else there?
No, you're good to go.
Okay, keep pointing those things out. Most of them I have noticed or seen or made a note of, but if you see anything that I haven't, I'd certainly like to know. So I appreciate that. Thanks. So the social cards are on the site. So the social card with the theme, nice and bright, and again, optimized for all platforms. So that's good. There, you can put your logo up here if you like. And because it's Fire Prevention Week, we don't leave a lot of room for that kind of thing because it is the occasion that we sponsor and that we provide. But anytime you're posting social, a reader or a viewer or a user is going to know it's from your fire department because it comes out under that banner with your logo and whatnot. So if you want to sneak your logo in there, I don't have any problems with that. Otherwise, don't change it though. So this is a new social media card, and it's reflective of one of our safety tip sheets as well. Sorry, the words aren't coming out tonight. And it's kind of nice. It's colorful. It shows you the locations of the smoke alarms. There's a lot of words on it, but I think they're okay. We worked hard to try to minimize wording and also try to make it succinct, but meaningful and accurate. So this is a fairly good one and brand new. This is the one again where it's on the wall. So I honestly say I don't love it. I do like that it's a young person and showing you where the button is, but my smoke alarms don't look like that. So I'm just going to leave that out there for you. You can do what you like with that one. Age matters. So this one again, the 2015, bugging me a little bit, but we had a conversation the other day at our conference and expo about whether the date is now the date since manufacture or the date since install. And I did a fair bit of research over the last 4 or 5 days. And my understanding now is that in every case, it's date from manufacture. I believe there was a time when it used to be date from install, and you used to pull something, not the battery thing, but used to pull something that would activate the alarm. I haven't seen those lately, and heaven knows I've had enough new alarms in my house of late, and it seems to be date from manufacture. So if you buy it a year later, it's 9 years, not 10 years. Anybody have any comment or observation on that? It certainly wouldn't mind hearing that. Anything there, Len?
I don't see anything, but I totally agree based on my experience and our experiences. Date of manufacture for the smoke, and then with the CO alarms, I believe it's different. It's the date of the installation.
Yeah.
But again, check manufacturer's instructions.
Those little tiny instructions, exactly, which are much easier to read online. I like this one. Working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in a home fire in half, protect what matters most. I like it. It's a multi-generational family here. So I like what's going on there. And this one is good too. Make sure smoke alarms meet the needs of all family members, including those with sensory or physical disabilities. Learn more at FPW. And then we do have a tip sheet at fpw.org about that. So something that a lot of people don't think about. And it's also the information that is difficult to come across. So I like that messaging. Okay, so on to the safety tip sheets. So this is the new one, and I want to talk to you about this one. I like the way it looks. It's nice and consistent with the theme. Always for our safety tip sheets, the messaging comes from the EMAC, which is right here somewhere that you all know about, the educational messaging document. that we call the EMAC, even though the EMAC is actually the name of the committee, and this is called the desk reference, which we always chuckle about. So have a look here. I know that's a bit hard to see. There's this yellow block here, and it talks about replacement. And it says smoke alarms with non-replaceable or long life batteries are designed to remain effective for up to 10 years. Okay, fine. If the alarm chirps warning that the battery is low, replace the entire smoke alarm right away. And then it says for smoke alarms that do not have non-replaceable or long life batteries, replace batteries at least once a year. If the alarm chirps, replace only the battery. But if the alarm continues to chirp, then you replace the unit. So I asked Kelly, who is our new Director of Public Education, about that, and she pointed me here, which I know in this section of the EMAC, which is Chapter 1, and that's where that messaging comes from. So we talked about it yesterday at considerable length. So we're updating the EMAC, which we do we used to do it consistently, but every 3 or 4 years. I think we're in year 4 now, so we'll get it done by year 5, 2025. But as soon as our CNE is over, which was last week, we're going to start working on updating the EMAC. And there's a process to follow whereby you can submit a form, which I will do, to try to update this language. I find this language confusing, and I'm just wondering, I'd like to be able to take feedback back to our committee and to the public education team about that. So what do you guys think? Have you guys just comments, thoughts on that? Because it makes it sound like you only have to replace the battery and not the unit if there are non-replaceable that do not, if they have regular batteries, right? It's just confusing for smoke alarms that do not have non-replaceable batteries, replace batteries. Anyway, ponder that, let me know, but I'm going to work on that. And I would like to have this tip sheet updated. So just be aware that if you use that, or if you're looking at it, that messaging is there. So I apologize for that. It's a bit confusing. And again, we're not all part of the process. And sometimes we don't see these things until they're on the website. So at least we're aware. All right. Okay, so these are a couple of others that have been around for a bit, but are very applicable to this year's theme, Learn the Sounds of Fire Safety. That was from our theme a couple of years ago. I quite like this one. And Smoke and CO alarms for people who are deaf or hard of hearing. And we worked on this with various organizations that we still work with, who work with people who are deaf or hard of hearing. I'll tell you a little story. The other morning at our conference and expo, we had a gentleman present, and his presentation was well attended. It was sold out. You couldn't get another person in the room. And it was about fire prevention, public education on a budget. So he had some really good ideas and whatnot, and about how to, create partnerships in your community. And essentially it was all about community risk reduction, which was great. However, there were about, I don't know, I'm going to say 200 people in the room, and I think the room was made for 150. So we had to be very careful about fire regulations and whatnot, imagine. And he started talking about smoke detectors and CO2 alarms. And there was this collective in the room, and there was no oxygen left in the building. So his intent was good, but his language wasn't consistent with what we all know it should be. So I just want to emphasize, the EMAC, although I've just shown you a section that needs to be worked on and updated, but the Educational Messaging Advisory Committee puts a lot of time and effort and energy into making sure that we're using consistent, concise and accurate language. So I know you all do, but I highly encourage you in your work to use the EMAC as your basis for your language and for the lessons that you're building. So anyway, we all learned our lesson there the other day about vetting the presentations and knowing what we're getting. So there you go. Okay, some other resources. This is a great video about smoke alarms that works for kids. It's on our YouTube channel. It's been around for a bit, but it works with this campaign. So I thought I'd show it to you just as a reminder. And it's kind of fun.
Alarms keep you from harm. The sound when the smoke, it's no joke. Awake or asleep or count the sheep. Break it down there. Get up, get downstairs. Or better, get out the door. Want to hear more?
So it's fun to use that as part of your presentation in schools. I don't have the MP4 for that one, but I can probably get it. So if you want it, let me know. You can, I mean, if you're using a smart board, you can embed it. I just embedded that quite easily. And I can show you how to do that as well. So just a reminder that, you know, we've got NFPA.org and you can get to the Fire Prevention Week stuff from there by hovering your mouse over events. If you plug in firepreventionweek.org, that works. fpw.org, that works. Sparky.org is where some of those, pardon me, some of those printables live, and sparkyschoolhouse.org has even more, particularly if you're going into schools. And it says it's for teachers. We've changed that to educators because it's for everybody. Both Sparky.org and Sparky Schoolhouse have had an incredible facelift over the last couple of years, and they're easy to navigate. We're putting the French stuff on sparkyschoolhouse.org. I don't think there's any French on sparky.org, but we now have control of those websites, the public education division, so it's much easier to do that. So that makes us happy. And that's just what sparky.org looks like. If you visit it regularly, you know, but how easy it is to find things, and the checklist is there now already. So, and lots of other things about smoke alarms and Sparky Schoolhouse. Again, for everybody, everything's filtered by grade level, and both of these sites are safe sites. So you won't get any bizarre advertising pop-ups or anything like that in them. They're both safe sites. Fire safety in the city goes along with the theme really nicely. It's a resource that we did a couple of years ago after another theme, I think in 2022. So there's a great video that goes with it. This is obviously for people who live in apartments or condos. So we tend to develop our resources for people who live in single family homes. And we know that most people don't live in single family homes. So that's good. And we've also got it in French. I'm not sure if this is the video or not. Let me just...
Laura, maybe, sorry, Laura, just before you play that video. So that previous video that you just showed again, unfortunately, it seemed to be playing at half speed.
Oh, really? That's weird.
Buffering a little bit, but it was a bit, but I think we got the intent. The one question that came out of that video was, did the pick of the home suggest, this is from Andrew, we are to place alarms in the garage. Is that a movement in the US?
Sorry, where did that come from? Which part of the video? Was it the beep 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 video?
I believe so, yes. Said that the pick of the home suggests we are to place alarms in the garage.
Or is that in the tip sheet over here? Wait a sec. Let me see if I can go back here.
Oh, before the video on the tip sheet. Sorry. Yeah.
Video on the tip sheet. Hang on. So this one, right? There is a circle there, isn't there? Yeah. And that's supposed to indicate. So, you know what? We've been talking about it as a group. It will probably come into the EMAC in the next edition as a recommendation. I mean, if it's not in the code, you can't enforce it. But with electric vehicles and the situations that we've been seeing with electric vehicles, particularly in the United States, we have some crazy incidents of them just catching fire, or it's not necessarily the battery, it's the vehicle, it's the plug-in and the connection between the vehicle and the electrical outlet. So we are, as an organization, highly recommending that people install heat detectors and smoke alarms in their garages. We can't do anything to make them do so. But I think in 3 states now, a minimum, Shannon, we talked about this last week too. I think in a minimum of 3 states, it has now been legislated. So it's coming. Whether it will get here and whether it will get to Ontario, I don't know. But knowing what we know, it's hard not to have that discussion. Right. So it's a guideline and a recommendation. It's certainly not in Canada legislated at this point. Right. Good question though, and I'll point that out.
Sorry, Laura.
Yeah.
There was just a comment in the chat that a lot of the manufacturer's instructions say not to place smoke alarms in the garage because of the hot and cold temperature limitations.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know how we get around that or resolve it. I know lots of people who have them in their garages, but you're right, the hot and cold temperatures and humidity, things that you might be using there. So, I will find out more. And whether it's just heat detectors and not smoke alarms. Thank you. Okay, so let me just see where I put the video here. Right. Okay, I put it at the end. Great. Okay, so this is what the fire safety in this city handout looks like. So it's a 4-page guide that you can use in schools or anywhere else. If you have students that live in apartments or high-rise buildings, again, this is from sparky.org, which is the teacher site, but is great for educators of any type. This again, just what it looks like. So it talks about the fire detection system and smoke alarms, what you should do if you're told to shelter in place, about using the stairs. So I'll play the video and hopefully that one's not buffered too much. And it is also in French. So on the Sparky Schoolhouse site, there is a section, printable handouts in French, just so you're aware. Well, let's see. So Len, if this is ugly, just stop me or speak over it if you can, and I will stop it. But that might have just be my internet today, because obviously it's not cooperating very well. Let's see. What to do?
If you live in an apartment or a building that has more than one level, it's super important to have a fire escape plan so you know how to get out quickly and safely if a fire starts or if there's an emergency. Make a plan. First, learn your building's emergency escape plan. Then, make a home fire escape plan together with everyone who lives in your home. Smoke alarms will let you know if there is a fire in your home. It will make a loud beep, beep, beep if there is smoke. Test your smoke alarms once a month by pressing the test button. Practice your fire drill. Go to each room and the building exits and point to the way out. A great way to get your home fire drill started is by pushing the test button on your smoke alarm. If there is a fire, before opening the door, feel the doorknob and then the door itself. If they feel hot or warm, or if there's smoke, don't open the door. Stay inside with the door shut and call the fire department. Call 911. Make sure everyone in your home knows how to call 911. Put a cloth outside your window so firefighters know you are still inside and need help. When leaving the home, close doors behind you. This will slow down the smoke and fire. If the door and doorknob feel cool, it's safe to exit. Remember, always close doors behind you as you leave. Use the stairs. Practice using the exit stairs to get out quickly and stay out. Remember to never go back inside. Go to your outside meeting place. Choose an outside meeting place, something permanent like a neighbor's home, a light post, mailbox, or stop sign that is a safe distance in front of your home where everyone can meet. Remember, it is important to practice your fire escape drill twice a year and share these safety tips with your friends and family. Great job, everyone. Sparky would be proud of you.
There's a lot of information there in a very short time. So if you're using it, it may be something you want to stop and start and discuss each little bit of information. Other questions in there, Len or Shannon?
No, it's just some comments
Okay.
in regards to the alarms in the garage, as we know it's a hot topic.
Okay, thanks. We can go back to that. Okay, so the kits, there are Fire Prevention Week kits available. So these are the things that you buy rather than the things that you download and print. And there are 3 options for those. So just so you know, in the kits are the nice big banners, a bunch of posters, the magnets, which are heavy for shipping. So just be aware of that. Stickers, bags to put everything in, an adult brochure, 10 tips for fire safety. I think that's not 10 tips for fire safety. This is actually a hard of hearing tip sheet. So that wasn't changed. So the tip sheet that you saw earlier, and then a kid's activity booklet. So that's what comes in the NFPA version of the kit. So that is the kit that you would receive if you order through the Fire Marshal's Public Fire Safety Council. So it would be the same kit. Okay, so just so that you're aware, and there it's up. Fire Safety Council has it ready to go. And you can order a la carte from the Fire Safety Council, which is good because if you don't want a whole bunch of really heavy magnets shipped to you, you can look after that. And if you don't want, for example, the tip sheet that has things in it that might not be applicable to us right now, you can leave that out. So that works well. I think that's certainly my preference. And you could order more than one banner, for example, if you wanted. So that's all there, and it's all for pre-order now. You can also get it through the Fire Hall bookstore, similar prices, different bundles. So their kits come as bundles for 100, 250, and 500 or something to that effect. And they also have a la carte items. And then if you want it in French, the only place to get it in French is through the CanOps store. And I couldn't see very well. They don't have a lot of detail yet about what's in their kit. It is expensive. That's the price. It has 900 pieces in it. And the list is over here in French of what's in it. So it's a little bit of a different kit. And includes the fire helmets and some other stuff. So we license the CanOps store, which is an arm's length organization of the Council of Canadian Fire Marshals and Fire Commissioners to create and develop and distribute the kits in French. Is that clear? Any questions on that? So there's 3 places to get them. Whatever you do, don't try to get them from NFPA. I've had some people do that over the last couple of years, and we've fortunately caught it and been able to stop it, because then you pay in US dollars and you would be paying shipping and duty. So you want to go to the Fire Marshal's Public Fire Safety Council, CanOps store if you want French, and the Fire Hall bookstore if you have a relationship with that organization. So, and if you're not sure, just send me a note and we'll help you. Okay. All right. Yeah, and those are the 3 websites there. If you want to take a screenshot or take a photo. This is what the magnet looks like, just so you know. And again, they're a little bit heavy for shipping. Okay. Okay, and this is my cue to go out of here and over to the page itself. So I will do that and share it momentarily. Okay, so you can see that, correct? It's showing up in green. So this is the page itself, Fire Prevention Week. You can see this menu across the top is actually the NFPA website menu. So when you're in Fire Prevention Week at fpw.org, or if you're at nfpa.org and go to events, then Fire Prevention Week, that's where you find it. And if you scroll down, you'll come here to key safety tips, Fire Prevention Week materials, and then other information and resources. Shop is our catalog. So it's the American catalog, which shows you all of the things that are available in a really nice format. So if you want to have a look there, by all means, but again, don't buy from there because of the American dollar and the duty that you would pay. So if you scroll on this page, this is our video that you've seen, and gives you some history and background to FPW, which is sometimes fun to play in schools and to other organizations to hear how it all started. And there's a couple of great videos there. And then, as I said, you can scroll down and you get these 3 action items, right? Install, test, and replace. So that little bit of information is there. And then the sensory or physical disabilities. So we've got those tip sheets here. and then keep scrolling, everything you need for Fire Prevention Week, and that brings you to the toolkit. So the educator toolkit is sort of the key area for you guys. The smoke alarm activities, this is all the printables that you saw in the PowerPoint. And then there are other FPW products that are for sale, and this is again the for sale items. So I'll take you to the toolkit, which is over here, and it lists the theme art, social media cards, lesson plans, some guides and reports, and then this is where you find anything French that doesn't show up immediately when you're scrolling through other stuff. So it will be down at the bottom of the page. So the theme art is all here, and you can download it here, and this gives you theme art in various sizes and shapes, again, for social media, for using outside, for using on your website. So that's all there, and your comms corporate communications people may want to know that, and it comes in a nice zip file, so it's all there and ready to go. The French theme art you'll find over here under other languages, or just by scrolling down to the bottom of the page. The customizable templates, we looked at most of these except the press release. So you can just download the press release and fill in the blanks and customize it to make it yours. It's just a Word document so that you can put it on your own, pardon me, on your own letterhead or on your own branded digital format, which is great. The social media cards are all here. When you go here, you can download them in English, French, or Spanish from right here instead of in the other languages bit, which we struggled with that. Where's the easiest place to put them? But I thought people wouldn't find them if we put them in the other languages part. So that's why they're there. When you're in this page and this part of the website, just keep hitting the back button to take you back to where we were rather than the home page, which will take you back to to the NFPA page. So we saw those, all the social media cards. Pardon me. And so here we are. So this won't go back now. So I'm over here on my toolkit page. There we go. So I'll scroll down a little bit further. So we've got the lesson plan that we showed you, the 10-minute lesson plan, plus lesson plans that we had previously. Preschool, kindergarten, smoke alarms are important, and grades 1-2 smoke alarms are important. So those are there for you already. And we didn't have to update those. And then if you don't have the EMAC or the desk reference, it's here. There's some data here on smoke alarms and house fires in the US. We don't have that information here. As you know, you may have some local information or some provincial information, which we know we do. So we tend to extrapolate from here. Probably not anything that's going to be a terrific resource for you right now, and a smoke alarm installation guide, if anybody ever asks, it's actually not a bad resource. And then this is where this material is in French. You'll see it right here. So again, you can click here at the top or find it here toward the bottom of the page. The Sparky costume guidelines are here. We get asked about it all the time. So if you have a Sparky costume and you're using Sparky during Fire Prevention Week, Sparky doesn't speak, of course, and always has to be with a handler, which is fine. And, you know, my best piece of advice is always don't put the head away. Make sure it's dry and clean, and look after it as you would your own puppy, perhaps. And I wanted to take you also back to the theme art, which is at the top of the page. So the terms of use are here. So if you wanted, again, to use it on a vehicle or a bus shelter or something to that effect, you require a larger file than we make available on the website. And that's because we need to maintain the integrity of the brand, of course, and make sure that use of Sparky is only done within the guidelines provided by NFPA. So I'll tell you that we're in a crunch with our legal team because of some litigation that's happening and some other things, and it's just the time of year. So if you do want a larger version of a file, we can go through that process right away. You click here, it takes you to terms of use. You click here under copyright requests, submit your copyright request using this form. Takes you to the form. It's short and sweet and easy to fill out. But key here, describe exactly what NFPA material you would like to use. So you want to use the Fire Prevention Week 2024 theme art. What do you plan to do with it? We're going to put it on our Fire Prevention Week vehicle. We're going to put it on a bus shelter, what will become of the final product. It will be up for 6 weeks around, before, during, and after Fire Prevention Week. There will be no monetary benefit. It will be in this area. This many people will see it. I've spoken with Laura. She says it's good. That will help, truly. And just be specific about the type of file you need if you need a vector file. So your people who are doing your wrap for your vehicle or the graphics people should be aware of that and able to help you. So I think that covers it for Fire Prevention Week. We went through all of this. It's pretty basic, but it does help to see it, I think, and be able to navigate the website. So I'm going to take that down and stop sharing my screen. And we have a few minutes for other questions or comments. And I'm really happy to have any of your feedback. So by all means, let me know what you think. And I think you all know how to get a hold of me, lking@nfpa.org, or through LinkedIn or any of the social sites. There we go. Okay, a lot to get through. Questions, thoughts, comments, anything you need, anything you see that you really like, anything you see that you don't like that we can improve on. Happy to have that feedback.